There was a time when Saturday mornings belonged entirely to children. Before streaming, before on-demand, before every screen was personal and portable. There was one television, one time slot, one shared ritual. Children woke early, not because they had to, but because they wanted to. The week paused. For a few hours, the world revolved around animated heroes, talking animals, and brightly colored adventures. It did not feel temporary. It felt permanent. But permanence is often an illusion. Long before Saturday mornings became a ritual, animation had already been evolving. In the early 20th century, cartoons appeared as short films shown before feature presentations in movie theaters. They were designed to entertain audiences while they waited, brief moments of humor before the main event. Animation was novelty, a side act, not yet a destination. But over time, animation began to grow in both popularity and purpose. During World War II, cartoon characters were enlisted into service. Studios produced animated shorts that boosted morale, promoted patriotism, and carried wartime messaging. Familiar figures like Bugs Bunny and Donald Duck became part of the cultural conversation, appearing not just as entertainers, but as symbols. In a time marked by uncertainty and loss, animated shorts offered moments of levity, brief escapes, laughter in dark theaters before newsreels and war updates. Animation was no longer just filler, it had influence. It had audience recognition. It carried comfort. As television entered American homes in the late 1940s and early 1950s, these animated shorts found a new life on a different screen. At first, they were scattered across programming schedules, watched by adults and children alike. But networks began to notice a pattern. Weekend mornings were quiet. Parents slept in, but children were awake. In 1955, CBS introduced the Mighty Mouse Playhouse, helping establish one of the first dedicated Saturday morning cartoon blocks.
Here I come to save the day.
And as programming became routine, routine became anticipation, anticipation became ritual. The experience was time-based. If you missed it, it was gone, and that was part of its power. By the 1960s, Saturday morning was no longer an experiment. It was expectation. Networks expanded their programming blocks, filled entire mornings with animation designed specifically for children. Shows like The Flintstones, Scooby-Doo,
Where are you?
and The Jetsons
Meet George Jetson.
introduced recurring characters who returned week after week. Saturday morning became appointment viewing. Children across the country watched the same episodes at the same time. On Monday, playground conversations echoed with shared references. Did you see what happened? Did you watch that part? It was not just television. It was shared language. By the 1970s, the formula had solidified. Animated programming dominated weekend schedules. Studios refined their style, producing content efficiently to meet demand. The ritual deepened.
Captain
Children knew the lineup. They knew the order. They knew when to rush back so they would not miss the opening theme.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe.
Not all of it was escapist.
It's Schoolhouse Rock, the chip off the block of your favorite Schoolhouse Rock.
I'm just a bill.
Segments like Schoolhouse Rock blended education with entertainment, teaching grammar, history, and government through music and animation. It proved that cartoons could inform as well as entertain, and it hinted at what was coming next. Commercial breaks became part of the experience. Brightly colored advertisements for cereal, toys, and action figures. Animation and advertising moved together. By the 1980s, Saturday morning cartoons reached their commercial peak. Franchises blurred the lines between storytelling and product. Episodes became extensions of toy lines, creating worlds children could recreate beyond the screen.
Oh no, look!
It's Omega Supreme!
Introducing the Autobots Omega Supreme Defense Base.
The ritual expanded outward. Cartoons shaped lunchboxes, backpacks, costumes, and bedroom walls. For many children, Saturday morning was the center of a larger universe. It felt endless. It felt guaranteed.
Look at babies, they're soft.
Wind! Water!
Go Planet!
By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
By the early 1990s, the structure of Saturday morning was firmly established. Networks competed carefully for ratings. But subtle shifts were already beginning. In 1990, the Children's Television Act required broadcast networks to air at least 3 hours each week of educational and informational programming for children. The legislation was designed to protect young audiences, but it also reshaped Saturday mornings.
To the most fantastic place on television, where anything can happen.
There was no single announcement, no final episode. Saturday morning cartoons did not end. The lineup shifted. The tone changed. Networks restructured their blocks to meet federal guidelines. Traditionally animated franchises were supplemented and sometimes replaced with programming labeled EI. ABC's One Saturday Morning blended cartoons with educational interstitials. NBC's TNBC leaned into live-action teen series framed to meet new requirements. The format was changing. The rhythm was different. The morning still existed, but it no longer felt the same. By 2014, the final traditional Saturday morning cartoon block, Vortex on the CW, aired its last broadcast. There was no farewell special, no collective goodbye. The channel remained, the time slot remained, but the ritual did not. The characters did not disappear, though. They moved. Clips live on through streaming services and online archives. Entire Saturday morning blocks have been recreated by fans, complete with original commercials. It once felt permanent. It was not. But for a few hours each Saturday, the world belonged to children. And sometimes, in living rooms both old and new, it still does. The screen may have changed, the ritual may have shifted, but the glow is still there.